Hello, everyone. This is Zen again. I hope everyone's been swell. Hope everyone's been great. Um, I've been okay, to be honest. I've been doing a lot of processing, and which I actually really enjoy doing. And one thing I was thinking about recently is the Wizard of Oz. Movie, the play, whichever. Um, the Wizard of Oz, but I'm also going to be talking about like the Wiz. I'm probably going to even reference the Wiz even more. For those who don't know, Barry Gordy did an all-black cast version of Wizard of Oz, and it starred Diana Ross and Michael Jackson and a bunch of other superstars. And it's one of my favorite movies since I was a kid. And but the point I'm getting at is I feel like over all the years there's been all these talks about the various themes in the Wizard of Oz, and I feel like there's not enough discussion on, and it's the fact that there are good witches and bad witches. Say that one more time. The part that we just kind of like take for, it's like, yes, there's the theme about courage, there's the theme about believing in yourself and believing that you're smart enough and believing that you're courageous enough and developing those things, and we completely just forget about the part that there are good witches and that there are bad witches. Pardon, that's an airplane. No reason to be alarmed. That's just an airplane flying over. And so let's fast forward to when Dorothy, one thing is very Googleable, is that the name meaning of the name Dorothy is gift of God. It's gift of God. And so let's fast forward to when Dorothy's house lands on the evil witch. I think in The Wiz, Dorothy herself lands on the evil witch. So first thing that happens when she swoops into this Oz, right, this land of Oz, is she accidentally lands on an evil witch, right? And who was it that explained this to her? It was a good witch. Good witch, first, the Munchkins are celebrating and they're saying, oh my God, thank you so much. That witch was so mean and they were so oppressive and we didn't know what to do. And she's like, what? Like, I'm just living my life and I ended up here. I didn't know. I wasn't trying to kill anybody, right? Those tend to be God's secret weapon, tend to be the people that don't even know they're being used by God, right? And so this evil witch is taken out, and she doesn't have to feel away because it's not like this evil witch used to be her friend. She just drops in from out of town, right? And so after all the Munchkins do their celebrating, who pops out to actually explain to her what's happening? The good witch. A good witch comes out of wherever and explains to her, look, it's okay. That was an evil witch that you landed on. Nobody's mad at you. Thank you. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you her magic ruby slippers, shoes. Also, Dorothy explained, like, hey, I just want to get home. The good witch says, you know what? If you go talk to the wizard, I'm sure he can help you. Notice that when a man is seen as magical, he's called wizard. I promise you, wizard and witch is the same crap. I'm sorry, y'all, but Harry Potter is as much of a witch as anybody else. So anyway, and so she explains, like, hey, this is what you need to do. The Wiz can help you. Follow this yellow brick road. I'm going to say this one more time. The good witch explained to her what was happening and told her where she needs to go for more answers, right? So a good guide, a lot of us consider ourselves to be spirit guides, but unfortunately we start thinking that means we have to have all the answers, and then we start making crap up. She told Dorothy what she knew, and then she said, well, you know what, the Wiz can probably help you with that. Right? This is what a good guide does. We help you with what we can help you with, and then we can oftentimes point you in a direction for more of your answers. Maybe you want to look over that way. Maybe you want to try, check this book out, check this website out. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Let's fast forward all the way to the end of the movie. Matter of fact, let's not fast forward to the end of the movie. Let's fast forward to where she meets the other evil witch, because that's the other thing that was explained to her. Like, hey, be careful. This evil witch has an evil sister, and she's coming for you. She's probably gonna come for you, right? So the good witch also prepared her for the possibility that this other evil witch could come for her, so that she was at least in some ways mentally prepared. Okay, so let's fast forward to her meeting the second evil witch, and by instinct alone, she picks up a bucket of water, throws it on the witch. The witch starts to melt. I'm melting. Again, gift of God. God loves to use the most well-intended but unsuspecting people. Because her head isn't already filled up with all these things she thinks she knows about killing witches. Sometimes the best thing you could know is absolutely nothing. Are you trying to be used by God, or are you trying to know more than God? You know what I mean? You can't do both. Can't do both. Okay? And so by intuition and instinct, that just also so happened to be a bucket of water nearby. She throws the water. She don't know what to do, but she knows it's annoying to people when you throw a bucket of water on them. Like, maybe at least I could make her mad. I don't know. But the witch starts melting. Melting. One thing I'm going to point out is the two symbols I'm seeing in what I just said was, the house landing on the first evil witch, and then her throwing water on the second evil witch. This makes me think of the sign of Cancer. Sign of Cancer represents the home. It represents your maternal ancestry. It represents water. Cancer is the water sign. Water also represents emotions, processing your emotions. Doing the emotional work helps release you from hexes. Like, I see all this stuff online about people being hexes and like bad, what I like to call bad juju. And I'm noticing a lot of people are starting to talk about this return to sender crap. Don't fall for it, y'all. Don't fall for it. Like, where did this return to sender idea even come from? What was our ancestors doing before we heard of such thing as a return to sender? Like, be careful. Sometimes the enemy is helping you lose. Okay, remember that people are waking up, but the people that don't want you to wake up is watching. They're watching, and they're fake participating and fake helping you wake up. So be diligent. This is what I mean by don't be lazy. Let's stop judging books by the covers and start learning how to distinguish a good person from a bad person by how they show up, by what they say, by what they don't say, by how they behave. Let's stop. Okay, y'all, it's childish. We have all these big words for explaining and describing racism and homophobia and these isms. It's like, I could explain it all in one word. It's immaturity, right? It's what children do. Matter of fact, even children know better. To be honest with you, children are much wiser than we are. That's why we're more confused. Kids just be like, they was nice. It's like, why am I being mean to somebody because they have darker skin than me? Like, anyway. So sign of Cancer, doing your emotional work actually helps release you from spell work. It helps to release you from bad juju. You don't have to do return to sender. You could just focus on your healing. The more you focus on your healing, the more you focus on raising your vibration, the more you raise your vibration, the more out of reach you are to all the low vibing stuff, right? If you live on the 10th floor, if you live on the second floor of a building, I guarantee you I can throw a rock through that window. If you live on the 10th floor of that building, I might might have a hard time throwing a rock through that window. You understand? Just rise above it. There's a reason why we have that phrase. So there's that. So now let's fast forward all the way to the end of the movie, where she finds the wizard. She finds the wizard, and the wizard admits, like, hey, I'm just a guy who's good at engineering, and I built this hot air balloon, and a gust of wind came and just swooped me over here. So this wizard that we were told to go to for answers admitted that he didn't have answers. I'm just a smart guy. Right? Because some people's magic is their understanding of technology. Right? The things that we can do with technology is magical. Right? However, in comes in that good witch. The second good witch that says, Dorothy, you had the gift within you the entire time. I know I haven't gotten to the scarecrow. I'll swing it back around to the scarecrow. I wanted to go straight to the point, and we'll get to the other characters. But here, the second good witch says to her, Dorothy, you had the gift within you the entire time. In The Wiz, it's this woman is played by Lena Horne. What an amazing experience that must have been. Anyway, Lena Horne's the good witch. The reason why I want to bring up the Wiz version of it is because I know that version of it the best, because I've seen it more times. And this is the part where Lena actually sings a song. This is usually the part where I start to fall asleep, because it's to me, the end is kind of dragging, but I understand the point. She sings this long song, and in the song she says, believe in you, believe in yourself as I believe in you, right? So she's, in the song, she's saying, believe in yourself as I believe in you. Sometimes the best gift you could give somebody is expressly actually believing in them. Believe in you as I believe in you. Believe in yourself as I believe in you, right? There's that. And then in response, Diana Ross starts to sing as well. She sings the song, and then she clicks her heels 3 times, and then she goes. The reason why this is significant is sometimes when we're feeling lost, right? We're not. A lot of times there are skills, talents, and abilities we have that we're not using, right? Say you get a good job when you're 20, and you're able to get up to manager really fast, and they keep giving you raises, and they're just so nice to you there. But not so deep down, you always had a passion. It's like, say, this job is just a regular job, in retail, but you've always had a passion for real estate, or you always had a passion to sing, to dance. But you're taught, that's not practical. You can't make any money. You can't make any money with it. However, and at the same time, you got a day job and you still know how to sing. Nowadays, I feel like I feel like I might have said this before, but I feel like one of the hugest benefits to social media platforms is that artists can just express their art for the sake of expressing their art. You don't have to do it to pursue fame. You can share for the sake of sharing. And so that's why she's saying, and then you had the gift within you all along. So it's like, what is it you know how to do? What is it you have that you're not using? What resources do you have that you're not using? I feel like a lot of times when we're praying, we're praying for more money, we're praying for more success, we're praying for more stuff, we're asking for more stuff. However, manifestation doesn't work where you're at, you're here, and then you ask God for stuff, and God comes and gives it to you. No, you actually meet your manifestation. You're moving in a direction, and that manifestation is gonna meet you somewhere along that path, but you gotta actually be in motion. You gotta actually do something. It doesn't just come to you, right? So sometimes when we're praying for money or more success or manifestation, a new love, we're praying for this manifestation, A lot of times the response you get is an instruction. Hey, I wish I had deeper, more fulfilling love in my life. And so what you also just said was, I want a deeper, more fulfilling life. I want to be deeper and more fulfilling of myself. And so when you pray for more of something, like Biggie Small said, more money, more responsibility, right? A lot of times we go, I want more money, I want land, I want this, I want that. It's like, are you also prepared for more responsibility? And so oftentimes God is helping you, your spirit guides, your good witches are helping you to meet that manifestation by guiding you to doing things to become responsible enough for that manifestation. So like, how many former singers and actors have we seen interview and say, if I knew then what I knew now, I wouldn't have blew through that money so fast. I thought there's going to be another movie. I thought there's going to be another this. Right? And so maybe God is lining you up for a single opportunity that they don't want you to ruin by not preparing for it. So there's that, right? And so we can come back to, what I was getting at was, without those good witches explaining and clarifying, Dorothy would have never figured out how to get home. I mean, not never, maybe it would have took her a lot longer. That good witch showing up at the end also represents feminine energy. And that wizard represents masculine energy. Where masculine energy is limited, right? Because we live in a world that's very masculine and actually encourages people to be masculine. Like, let's be honest, we live in a world that's always telling people to suck up your feelings, and then they get mad that everybody's is in this masculine energy. Like, that's what you wanted. You wanted a patriarchy. So but now we're all in the masculine energy, and you're not going to go far hopping on one foot. You have two, right? You have masculine and feminine energy. And masculine energy is like where logic is limited, creativity is not. And so sometimes when we think we're just, I don't know what to do, I just lost my job, blah, blah, blah. It's like sometimes God takes away your crutches because you're more brilliant and more creative than that. You're more brilliant, more creative, and God is like, I implanted this idea in you. There's nothing else for me to give you except support when you finally actually start to execute the idea I gave you. God doesn't always just most of the time, God doesn't just give you $1 million, but God will give you $1 million idea. Okay? And you got to do it. Okay? So there's that. So like we can swing back around to the scarecrow, the lion, the Tin Man, Toto the dog. I forgot to look up that name. I didn't look it up. However, then there's and the yellow brick road itself, right? And I think this part has been spoken about, like it's about alignment. Your mind, your heart, and your gut. Right? Your brain, your heart, and your gut. Your gut is like, your courage. Let me think. There's courage. The lion didn't have courage, right? So your gut, your heart, your courage, a lot of times where your solar plexus, your solar plexus and your heart chakra very much work together in terms of building up confidence and courage and moving forward in your journey, going within, and acquiring knowledge. You acquire knowledge by learning. Even the scarecrow, I believe, in the both variants of the movie, they were starting to understand that maybe they're smarter than they thought they was because they've lived life. I have experiences. Maybe it wasn't so much that I wasn't smart. Maybe it's just I was hanging on that thing for so long. I wasn't allowing myself to actually live life and have experiences and acquire information and knowledge and wisdom, develop wisdom from applying the knowledge, right? So there's that. So, but that's very much about alignment. We don't have one brain, we have three. You don't have one brain, you have three. Most people don't know how to really do research, like scientific, like we just Google things. And it doesn't occur, like a lot of people don't understand that things are published within science communities, in like these little magazines and in journals, and within that university. I can publish something and at my school during my PhD program that is actually put in the library, and that's the only place it is. So a lot of times the scientific stuff we start to see online is information that someone actually gathered through actually reading books and putting it up there, which takes a lot of time, doesn't it? And so anyway, you have three brains. While also at the same time, solar plexus very much represents confidence and courage. And then your heart, right? Having the heart of a lion, whereas the Tin Man didn't have a heart. So like they kind of both are associated with like courage and heart. When we get into the heart, we talk about love. Come on, we're being conditioned to give up on love. And God is love. It's like we want God but don't want love. It doesn't work that way. God is love and love is God, y'all. Love is the only God you can actually see in real time. You with me? Right? You can feel that in real time. Anywho, so and the dog, right? Dog is literally anagram of the word God. Of name, G-O-D, D-O-G, God. Like, why? Because dogs are capable of loving unconditionally. A dog doesn't say, so what's your nationality? Tell me what your nationality is so I can decide how much respect to give. Like, no. Dogs, one thing I love about dogs is that dogs understand love. Dog can feel it. Dogs can feel if you love them or not. Dogs can feel if you really love them or not. And they have already made a decision to love you. Regardless of how much you love them back. They'll recognize, okay, I don't think they love me, but they're really nice. It's wild, right? And so dogs represent unconditional love. It also represents her walking with God. The yellow brick road coincides with the yellow color of the solar plexus. Again, confidence and courage. Heart as in love. Yeah, that's people talking in the background, even though they see me talking on the screen. See, hateration. There's literally nothing and no one around me. But they feel the need to stand right here and have a conversation. Anyway, it's like, where's the love? And so, she's walking with God. She loves her family, right? She knows they love her. She's thinking about them. I have to get home. They're worried about me. I'm worried about them. You got flung out into the middle of Oz. We don't know where we're at. And you're worried. You're worried that your family is worried about you. Right? And so this, I'm not saying she's perfect, but she's a good person. She's showing you what, she loves. Her love is what... Because she could have said, I don't love those people anyway. I don't love them. They don't love me. I can just stay here. And maybe that's part of how the Wiz ended up staying. It's like, I have some family, but I don't know if they even loved me like that. So I'm actually just going to live here. these people love me. They think I'm a wizard because I built something that flew. I built something that's actually pretty common for where I live. They think I'm a genius, so they love me. I'm gonna stay here. But really, he wants to go home. I want to go home. I'm gonna say that one more time. The wizard also wanted to go home. Because again, where logic is limited, creativity is not. Feminine energy allowing, when people say get more in touch with your feminine side, they're talking about getting creative and to stop blocking your heart, stop acting like you don't got no love for nothing or nobody. Come on, like that's what rappers say to keep their head in the game. You gotta act tough when you're in the ring. I actually enjoy Mike Tyson interviews. I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of these people. I'm not at all saying I'm a huge fan of these people. I'm not saying you should be. But you scroll the internet, I can hear a thing and say, wow, that was an amazing thing I heard, without becoming a fan of you now. But anywho, he would talk about his experience of essentially being a trained killer. And he was like, I would go when I would step into that ring. He admitted that the entire process up until the point where he's about to step into the ring, he's actually in fear. Like, he's afraid, but he's not, but he is, right? He's up until that point, he's like, I actually feel fear. And the second I step into that ring, I want to kill you. He's in a boxing ring. There's no room for being nice. So be careful listening to what people say to hype themselves up before they go home to love their kids, to love their mom, to love even the hardest rappers. A lot of the rappers that we saw as like hard and tough when they was younger, like, are married. They married, they got kids, they trying to settle down, they getting beer bellies. Like, Bobby Brown has barbecue sauce, you know what I'm saying? And if there's no one, and then there are people who genuinely do love money. Fair enough. And they're honest and real about it. They're like, what? I love money. I love making money. I love doing this. If you notice, the majority of these successful, rich people, they love it. They love what they do. Or at least they love most aspects of what they do. There's always going to be some part of it that's not your favorite. Michael Jackson hated touring. He hated it. He hated that process. But he did what he needed to do. Got his head in the game. You got to get your head in the game. So y'all stop taking that stuff about, oh, no love. I got no love for nobody. I don't love this. We don't love that. Like, stop taking that too literal. Okay, that is hype talk. That's somebody's getting themselves hyped. So yeah, sometimes I'm in situations, and I know when I go into the situation, I can't be a nice guy. Right? I'm chilling right now. I'm not in a business meeting. I can be a nice guy. I can be a nice guy right now. But yeah, there are some real situations where you can't be a nice guy. You got to put nice guy in the pocket, and you got to show up. You got to show up on some like no love. Yeah, we're doing business. We're doing business. It's a business contract. So yeah, but while at the same time, why are you there? You should be there because there's something you love. You love being a rapper. You're a successful rapper because you love to rap. Jay-Z, I might have quoted Jay-Z before, just because he's quotable. Again, I'm not at all saying I'm a fan of these people. I can take a quote and appreciate the quote. But he said, like, the genius thing I did was I stuck with what I know how to do. I only know how to rap. I love rapping. I only know how to rap. And yes, there's these rumors about plagiarism and all this other stuff. But it's like, let's just say, for example, it's true that he plagiarized sometimes. But that's how much he was determined to be a successful rapper. Because he could have just said, you know what, after like 5 albums, doesn't he have like 10 albums out? He could have stopped after 4 and just say, you know what, I can't come up with nothing. I'm not saying it's okay to steal. I'm not saying it's okay to steal. I'm not saying plagiarizing is okay. I'm not at all. I'm just saying, if that were the case, that's how far he's willing to go. Because this is what he loved to do. He's a Sagittarius, right? Like, Sagittarius are to me, they're half like Aquarius, half Capricorn. I feel like if you put Aquarius and Capricorn together, you kind of get a Sag. Right? Because in one hand, they are like the true hippies of the zodiac. To be honest with you, Sag are the true hippies of the zodiac, more than Aquarius, I would say. However, there's a half of them that, again, we live in a world that says you can't be that way. So I feel like Sagittarius kind of lean towards that Capricorn energy. It's a sign right after Sag. I feel like they lean into that Capricorn energy, and they lean into that Capricorn habits of being practical, right? But when you find some balance, so yeah, it is kind of radical to attempt to be a successful rapper. But that's where that more grounded energy comes in, where it's like the consistency of it, like putting out albums consistently, doing other kinds of business deals. I'm selling this liquor. I'm starting this clothing line. I'm building business off of this name that I've made. So that's the balance. That's the balance of masculine and feminine energy. So it's like, yeah, it's cool to build a hot air balloon. But when you start to feel lost because you're committed yourself to being logical, too much logic, you actually literally find yourself kind of backing yourself into a corner. You start to corner yourself with too much logic. And then, you balance that out with a little more feminine energy, right? Some feminine energy, and it's like spiritual energy is getting more spiritual, is connecting with your feminine energy. Getting more spiritual, breathing, and I forgot where I was going with that. I don't know. I think I actually made my point, and I'm actually feeling pretty decent about this. I'm feeling pretty decent about this. The weather's really nice this week. Also why I'm outside again. I'm not gonna lie. I was done with summertime. Like, once August hit, I was ready for it to just be September, and I think I just kind of went to sleep for a week, and then it was September. It's time travel. Oh man, yeah, life is wild. Life is wild. But yeah, this Wiz of Oz is one of the reasons why I love the story. Like, I don't just like the Wiz because Michael Jackson's in it. I genuinely enjoy the story, and I feel like every time I watch it, I get deeper and deeper understanding. Whereas, like, the Wiz to me is a spiritual experience. And so yeah, but just to recap, don't let the world convince you that all witches are evil to the point where you don't allow the good witches to do what good witches do. If you notice, they gave her clarity. They gave her clarity, and they helped her get home. Right? That good witch came in and said, actually, you could have been left. Right? That's how you know you're dealing with a real guide, because a real guide will point out to you that you've already been doing it. You already have those gifts, just maybe you're not using it this way. It's like she's been singing the whole movie, and it didn't occur to her to click the heels 3 times right after. Maybe it's like, dang. Right? So this is what quote unquote good witches, like good spirit guides, good healers, well-intended healers. If you have a conversation with them and you leave more confused, that's probably not your person. And don't assume not everyone has ill intent. Sometimes folks are not ready. Sometimes I cross paths with people And it's 1,000% clear to me why we crossed paths. And I know several people like didn't believe me when I said this, but I'm like, oh, I would have a dream. Maybe I had a dream like a year ago, and our paths crossed today, and our paths crossed, and it clicks for me. Like, okay, I know what it is I'm supposed to share with you, because oftentimes, that saying, God don't give you more than you can't handle. And if we're on each other's path, then we more often than not, quite frankly, it works out just about every time, right? If our paths are crossing, then we have something in common. It's revealed to me, through some signs, because I'm paying attention. It's revealed to me through some signs that, okay, usually I would have had an experience. Usually I would have had, maybe I had an experience that you're currently having. And I can speak from experience by saying, oh, okay, yeah, I've dealt with narcissists too. And the only way to really deal with a narcissist is by not dealing with them. You gotta go cold turkey, quite frankly. But you get what I'm trying to say? Like, our paths cross is always at the right time and the right place as far as spirit is concerned. Because just about every time I cross paths with people, it's almost like that message was already at the tip of my tongue. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I might have even just been thinking about it. Like, I might have been reflecting on it. Maybe I finally am just closing that chapter. Don't mind me. I think I'm getting bit. Just wanted to get some sun on my skin for a little while. But I'm like, 1 or 2 bites won't kill me, but it is annoying. But yeah. See, when I start to lose my train of thought like this, it's because the message, right? It's like it's because the point was made, and so that's fun. But life has been interesting. At this point, like, I made the point, and if you decide to click off at this point, you can. I might just ramble for a few more minutes, because I'm in a good mood. I feel like this filming is going okay. I'm out by the water right now. What's funny, I was also thinking in terms of the Wizard of Oz was about thinking about actually all zodiac signs. I actually feel like, and it kind of just occurred to me, so this is not a fully developed idea, because when I was thinking about the house representing Cancer, sign of Cancer, and it was a tornado that brought down the house, right? It's like Gemini is right before that, and then before Gemini is Taurus, and wasn't it like Thanksgiving? Everybody was gathering for dinner before that hurricane came, right? And then like Aries is just like the movie started. So I thought about that sometimes, cause I'm a Mino Lines. Yeah, definitely one of my favorites. Where's the love? Where's the love? What do you love? Right? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what to do. I'm lost. I'm confused. It's like, what do you love? Other than your kids, other than your spouse, other than your mom. Like, what is it? What do you love to do? How do you love to be? Do you love being outside? Do you love being in a cubicle? Do you, there are some people I've had conversations with that may or may not see this, and it was pretty obvious to me that Spirit wants them to work for themselves. But folks are so used to having a job, and like, it's like all the signs are there, the circumstances right, actually. Like, we're just so used to doing the logical thing. We're so used to just kind of sucking down our emotions and doing the logical thing. And then we start wondering why everybody has all these anxiety problems and depression. It's like, what's connected to depression is suppression. It's like, what are you suppressing? What parts of yourself are you suppressing? What aspects of yourself are you not allowing to express? You know, like, and when an artist can't create, they're depressed. I've been in situations where people have like taken things from me, right? They figure if they block me from some money, or they block me from a job, or they block me from someone's attention, that they think that those things are gonna hurt me. And it's like, no, you know, I mean, I'm gonna be a little annoyed that you did it, but you didn't hurt my feelings. It's called self-esteem for a reason. It's between you and you. Like, really, technically, no one should have access to your self-esteem. It's yours. It's you and you. No one should get between you and you. Like, come on, y'all. It's like, are we depressed, or are we, like, you know, and again, I'm not downplaying everybody's depression. I'm making general statements here. General statements. And, like, for those of you who know, you know, this applies to somebody. Trust me, it applies to somebody, because it applied to me. And I was really depressed for a really long time. And yeah, discovering that I'm trans is part of that. But I was highly underestimating my spirit's desire to create. You know, it's like, I can, you know, draw a little, I can paint a little. Like, I'm not saying I'm an expert in anything in particular. I'm probably a better DJ than most of the other things that I know how to do, just because I've had more practice doing it. But when I took the time to sit and get more honest with myself, it's like, how did I become a DJ? Like, everybody thinks that I became a DJ to be cool, but no, I became a DJ out of being shy and actually wanting to be a musician. I wanted to play drums. I wanted to, you know, I have a bass now, but I wanted to play drums. I wanted to be in a band. I wanted to sing, right? So I was doing the next best thing. I was doing what I thought of as the next best thing, and I feel like it was a good logical choice. Like, if I want to be in the music, if I want to be into music, but I'm feeling shy about being a frontman of a band, I can play the background by being a DJ. It's a good logical step forward. And then I didn't keep going, right? I didn't pivot immediately. I should have, you know, not the shoulda, coulda, woulda. I'm just sharing. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, for the sake of, you know, elaborating on the point. Where logic is limited, creativity is not, right? And so I'm doing the logical thing and taking gigs, and I actually did really well as a DJ, but the depression was not going away. And I, you know, again, like, coming into my truth about being trans and stuff, that helped a lot, but it still wasn't all of it. It wasn't all of it, right? I literally went to school for creative writing, and I'm not writing. So it's like, God, it's like, yo, we gave you all these gifts and abilities. We didn't intend for you to just pick one. And if you're more honest with yourself, you wanted to be a writer before you became a DJ, right? I'm talking to myself, but I'm also just sharing, right? I wanted to be a writer long before I wanted to be a DJ. I used to fantasize about being in a band. A group, like, not just a band. I used to fantasize about being in a group like TLC. I'm like, dang. Like, we don't talk enough about what a big deal, like, at the time when TLC came out and Aaliyah was out around the same time, they helped tomboys so much. Like, they may not be gay, but they were low-key stud heroes, right? Because they showed you how cute tomboys could really be, right? And to brag, like, let's be honest, like, the industry is very much stuck on looks, and even if you are a tomboy, they expect you to get cute sometimes, right? So, and granted, like, I get it. Yes, there's all this other stuff. I'm making a point. Just making a point. I'm staying on task. But it was such a big deal at the time. They showed people that tomboys are still women. But yeah, the point that I was getting at with the DJing was like it made sense in terms of like a first logical step, but then I didn't immediately pivot, right? Like while I was more actively DJing, I shoulda, coulda, woulda started making music. Just start making music. Just start performing your songs. Why didn't I just start performing my songs at my sets? Just little things like that, right? There's a lot of artists, there's a lot of producers out there now that started off as a DJ, and there's a lot of artists and actors and so forth that as they got older and wasn't as young as they used to be. Shaquille O'Neal's a perfect example. It's like I can't run up and down a court anymore, and I remember someone asked him like, hey, what made you want to be a DJ? Like, and he said like he was real about the fact that he said I miss that feeling of a crowd cheering, right? Like Shaq was a huge deal when he came out. I remember and fans, hollering, cheering you on, clapping for you, you can do it. And so like he kind of missed that crowd, and he's Shaquille O'Neal, still have a name for himself. So hey, I can learn how to DJ, and I can use, I actually appreciate how folks like Shaq and Snoop, right? They got their foot in the door rapping, but then I really appreciate, like, I feel like if I was to choose a rap career, if there was someone's rap career that I could choose, like I don't mind Snoop's. I'll be honest with you. I like that when he was young, right? Like it was like bitches and hoes this all day and pimps that, and he was doing his own version of like Girls Gone Wild. And then when he matured, he really matured. And 20 years ago, it was like he had his own version of like Girls Gone Wild. And now he has these like affirmation videos for children. And so like I appreciate him. Like he's present with himself. He was young when he was young. He did the rapping, like I said, he did the pimps and the hoes whole thing. And then as he got older, it was more like drop it like it's hot. It was more chillax. I've seen this dude in like deodorant commercials, and this dude is doing like deodorant commercials in Germany, and like dishwashing liquid commercials in Japan. And like that's what I'm getting at. Like he showed people that like, hey, I'm more than just a rapper. I can create, I can be creative in other ways, and I can be used for creative things in all these other ways. And he just kind of did that. He just kind of really flows with it. And Ed teaches like Little League football, you know what I mean? Like coaches Little League football. Like, how are you doing all that? And I think it's great. But you get him getting at, like, he could have just logically just stayed a rapper. And now bought a couple of Burger Kings and like just kind of chilled. But it's like, nah, he's I would say his energy is very masculine, feminine, balanced, if you ask me. I mean, in that sense of the word. So on and so forth, right? So yeah, it's been great. But it's been great, and I guess I've been contemplating that also for myself. And I've spent this summer not just thinking, but making stuff. Like I made this bracelet. You can't really see it too well, but just kind of taking an inventory of, because I'm an artsy person, I've accumulated a lot of stuff already, and so taking an inventory of what supplies and equipment I still have, what I can sell, what I might be able to give away, what I might still need for some other things that I would like to do. And I started thinking about actually all the things that I always wanted to do but didn't start. It's like I had ideas to make bracelet years ago, but then I started going, nah, right? Started getting logical. I just kept going to work, maybe I was in between jobs at the time, and then I got another job, and then it's like, why did you stop? I actually enjoy it. Like, once I started, it was like, this is great. Once you get one idea, then your brain starts formulating a billion more ideas. Now I got a billion ideas, and it's essentially, hopefully, the idea is that it'll pay for itself. Where I sell some of the bracelets, and I use that money to buy more supplies for all these other ideas that I have. People have been buying up my bracelets so fast. That's why I haven't been showing them, because I would make a bunch, and then like my friends and family, my sister, like, she's super supportive in that way, and one thing I'm recognizing too, as somebody, I would do tarot cards for a long time, and I recognize how that's kind of a mix. I'm sorry, these mosquitoes are swarming, man. I'm gonna put my shirt back on. I was trying to be cute, but anyway, this is my new $5 shirt. I appreciate it. Well, now I can get something cute for less than $10. But anyway, yeah, I was doing the tarot readings at the time, and I'm doing more tarot readings and like Reiki, like that type of healing, and I'm starting to recognize. It took a little while though, but I started to recognize that people see me as intimidating. Because I think after I gave a couple of readings, that it's like things tend to go left, because it's like the truth that I get to are much deeper than people expect. People, like, when people think you're cute and you're sitting there with the tarot cards, they're like, I'll take a reading, and they kind of maybe just wanted to have a conversation, or like sometimes I'll say something that people assume I said out of jealousy, or that I made it up, and then I guess later realize it's true, and then of course they're embarrassed, or they mad at me, they don't be my friend anymore. Long story short, I realized I was just trying to be too deep all the time. Like, sometimes as an Aquarius, and I've shared this with another Aquarius at some point this summer, and I said, like, sometimes we're too smart for our own good. Sometimes, I consider myself pretty emotionally mature, but sometimes I feel like it's too much for my own good, right? Like, I really want people to want to go deeper. I really want people to want, just because, I've experienced like the elation. It's like it reminds me of it was a Power Ranger movie from a couple years back, where they go into like this lake. Like, first I think there's this mountain, and they break open they break a hole in this wall. They find this layer, right? They break a hole in this wall, then they kind of end up in this cave situation, and then that has water. They go into the water, right? They go all the way down. It's like it's this weird kind of fun effect where they go down into what looks like a lake, or just like a pond or a lake, and then it's like it turns, and then like there's this layer of water, and they just kind of like step through it, and then they're in the layer. It's like they go down to this water into just this layer. I actually just kind of feel like going deep emotionally at first seems scary. But the deeper you go, the more you realize there's a whole new world down here. And so I guess I'm excited. Like, I've literally had shared people like that it's like we're so disconnected from like what joy looks like. Because my circumstance isn't perfect. Again, like we're so overly logic, and that people don't understand how I've cultivated joy with $4 in my pocket. They're just like, oh, how it's, I feel like people are they're being overly logical, confusing themselves. It's like, oh, no way Z is actually, have joy, because I know they ain't got no money. And if I ain't had no money, then I won't be. Like, nah, joy is different from happy. I mean, I'm happy, I'm not content, right? Like, that's why it's really important to read all the definitions of words, like, not to sound like your teacher back in the day, but it's like, I feel like we and people in society would just be using words, that we never looked up. You just assume you know the meaning of it because you've been using it correctly in one context. But you know, it's like, come on, go deeper. We don't want to do that deeper work. We just want to go to work and we want to do easy job, and we want to do it the easiest job possible and make the most money possible. And it's like, anyway, it's like you understand work in that sense, but like emotional work, it doesn't have to. That makes sense. I feel like the power of suggestion. Like, I used to be a math tutor, and I'm gonna stop soon. Because I definitely I don't want to lose my entire audience because I ramble way too much. I'm just in a talkative mood, and I haven't seen y'all in a while. But I used to be a math tutor, and not because I'm this expert. I was more like a B+ student, mainly because I never did my homework. But if I'm teaching like junior high school age, elementary school age, like, it's fine. I could do some, like, the teaching methods has changed over the years, but the math is still the math. Math still be mathing. So, in other words, I used to be a math tutor, and one thing I noticed from tutoring, not just children but adults, people my own age, all over, is I used to call it I would call it math anxiety, and I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, math anxiety. Like, we start, right? Power of suggestion is real, right? Because when we're younger, the older kids, right, or not just on TV and in real life, always say things like, "Oh my God, I hate math. It's so hard. It's so difficult. I can't stand it. Oh my God, when you get to high school math, you're gonna hate it." We literally do this to kids all the time, and then, like, you'd be surprised how much television really is kind of training our reactions to things. You know what I'm saying? And so we say to little kids all the time, "Oh my God, I hate math. I was never good at math. Oh man, I can't wait till you get to high school. You're gonna hate it too." Right? And so you already planted in this 10, 11, 12-year-old's head that high school math sucks and it's so boring and it's so hard. Guess what you're doing? You're kind of transferring your anxiety. You start to build up anxiety about it before you even start the math. You kind of are defeated before you even began. And so one of the things I did as a tutor is I actually used to tend to people. Like, what? I didn't just teach the math. If you're always anxious and nervous, if you're afraid of doing the math, it kind of don't matter how many times I keep explaining. It's like we do this thing, right? People get mad too when we like to do that joke, like parents trying to do math with you, and it's like, if you got 5 apples and you lose 2 apples, how many damn apples is left? You know what I'm saying? And so, like, there's so much anxiety around doing the math that by the time the test is in front of you, you've already told yourself 1 billion times you can't do it. You already told yourself 1 billion times how hard it is. It's like, emotional work is not as grueling and painful. There's some pains we like, right? Like, so many people like being spanked in the bedroom. They're like, you like that pain. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, let's not be so quick to say, "Oh my God, it's shadow work is so hard." We're so dramatic sometimes. It's so much emotion. Guess what? The traumatic event happened. The traumatic event already happened. It's over, right? This is the process of releasing it. This is the process of releasing it, and we're still complaining. Like, nothing is ever good enough. Nothing is ever easy enough, right? This is something you could do with yourself, just processing it out to release it. And so that's what I'm getting at with the negative connotation. I feel like when I hear online, all I hear about is how hard emotional work is, and how difficult shadow work is, and how it's so hard work, and it's so gruesome. It's like it's like chores again. It's like You gotta wash these dishes regardless, unless you're gonna throw out your dishes and buy new dishes every day. You gotta wash these dishes regardless. And so I could literally be washing these dishes thinking, oh my God, I hate washing dishes. I could do that the entire 20 minutes. Or I can actually just think about how much I enjoy clean dishes. It's on you. It's on you. We have more power than we realize. And you have the power to decide. You have more free will than you think you do. You have decisions on how you react to certain things, how you approach certain things. I enjoy doing emotional work. I enjoy processing things out. I enjoy knowing that something came up so that I can release it. And it's not there anymore. It's part of why I don't have mind chatter anymore. No special ritual, no special courses. It's like I'm passionate about simplifying things, but so simple it's gonna be. It's like I'm passionate about simplifying things, as I did as a tutor, right? Right? So I'm doing what I love to do. I love learning, and I love sharing what I learn. I love the process of taking something that's kind of complicated and breaking it down simply. Because it was never meant to be that complicated, y'all. It was never meant to be that complicated. Remember, like, there's still colonization happening. There's still elitism. There's still some of that going on. And so I would tell people, don't be so quick to assume that it's as difficult as the scientists made it sound. Scientists always want you to think they're smart, so they're going to use all these 4 or 5 syllable words. Like, if you didn't know any better, evaporate sounds like a long word too, but it's like which is actually quite simple. Right? So like, let the easy part be easy. I'm gonna leave you with that notion. Yeah, some things are difficult, but let what's easy be easy. Let what's easy be easy. Let it be easy to be honest with yourself. Let it be easy to be truthful with yourself. Let it be easy to be transparent with yourself. Let that be easy. Why should it be so hard? It's so difficult. It's so hard. Oh my God. Who said that work was so hard? Is it hard work because it's hard work? Is it hard work because you never did it before? You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. Let it be easy to get more honest with yourself. Start there. I guarantee you, sometimes just sitting and being honest with yourself, you're literally like peeling back layers of yourself. It's like, dang, I forgot about that part. I peel back this other layer, I turn this other page, and I'm like, oh yeah. You'd be surprised what things is just bloop. Like what answers literally just kind of jump out what answers jump out at you after you cleared away the gunk. Let it be easy. Let the easy part be easy. So that by the time you get to the hard part, you're ready. Like, you're not as tired. You're not as tired because you let the easy part be easy. But realistically, you wasn't going to get through the entire process not doing anything difficult. But something being a little difficult, again, doesn't have to be disheartening. I see brilliant people doing all kinds of complicated things in the physical world all the time. But it's like, feel the feels. I'm like, oh my God, what does that mean? I'm so confused. No, you're not. You're not that confused. You're not that confused. You're not that confused. Just get honest with yourself. Get honest with honesty. Matter of fact, I saw a quote once that said, honesty is cute, transparency is for grown folks. Okay, get transparent with yourself, get honest with yourself, get real with yourself. Start there. There's really not too much else to do before you did that. There's a lot less confusion when you start there. Okay, so but yeah, there's that. But thank y'all. I just want to say thank you to my 2 subscribers for still being here. Thank you for your patience. And yeah, again, I'm working it out. We're gonna turn this page into something. And yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be great. All right, I guess I'm ready to go now. It's been real. I've just been having so much fun. I kind of don't want to go, but that's it. I don't want to. Yeah. But yeah, thank you everybody, and take care. Have a great one. Have a great everything.